Hello, my name is Niloo Boroun. I am the Executive Director of the Consider Canada City Alliance. It's a pleasure for me to be here today and to provide you with this presentation on our members, why Canada, and of course, the AI ecosystem in Canada. So the Consider Canada City Alliance is representative of Canada's 12 largest city regions. We collaborate collectively on international missions and various other activities domestically and of course internationally in close collaboration with our partners at Global Affairs Canada and the Trade Commissioner Service across the globe. This slide here will show you a representation of the CCCA's membership. We are a unified voice of Canada's largest cities from the Atlantic coast all the way to the West Coast. We're an established network of investment promotion agencies, and we work, as I mentioned earlier, closely with national and international networks of partners to make Canada the preferred location for foreign investment. And on the right side, you see some of our members. You will continue to see them throughout the presentation. So we collectively promote Canada, and of course, the cities and regions are where upwards of about 85% of all of our new GDP growth is occurring, and those are in the major urban cities in Canada. We represent about 60% of the population in the country, about 60% of Canada's GDP, and approximately 70% of Canada's GDP growth. This really shows you the importance that these cities and regions play in the Canadian economy. So you may be asking, what do the CCCA members do? What are their mandates? Each member has a very unique mandate. However, all of our members have one cohesive mandate, and that is to attract international and foreign companies to Canada. So this slide over here shows you some of the needs of a company that is looking to either relocate or expand their operations, from finding office space to needing assistance from professional service providers on incorporating your corporation, to more detailed information on market information or research. So I will highlight some of the investment supports that our memberships will provide companies that work with them directly. They assist in developing a business case for your next investment project, information and advice on doing business in Canada, strategic market intelligence on your specific industry. And of course, once you are ready to visit the region or the city, they are there to help you with the site visits. We also work very, very closely with our federal and provincial partners. So each member that is in their respective province has great connections with their provincial partners and, of course, the municipality that they're located in. They're there to provide those key contacts and introductions to you. And we can't be speaking about foreign direct investment without speaking about the partnership between the CCCA members and Global Affairs Canada, as I mentioned, domestically and also internationally in many of our embassies, consulates, and such as the High Commission in London. And of course, the national agency that is responsible for marketing and promoting Canada and attracting foreign investment, Invest in Canada. And we work very, very in close collaboration with them. So the next few slides, I won't go into specific details. However, I wanted to give a high level on why Canada. Why do businesses decide to come and set up their new office or relocate here in the country? One of the main reasons is the preferential market access that you will have if you are in Canada. Canada gives investors market access through 14 trade agreements to 51 countries with nearly 1.5 billion consumers and a combined GDP of $49.3 trillion. Now, this slide here shows some of our major trade agreements, of course, CUSMA, CPTPP, and CETA. So market access, trade stability, and the Canadian brand continues to represent quality, safety, and trust. another reason why companies, international companies, look to Canada is our progressive immigration policies. This slide here shows one of the streams that the federal government has. Particularly, this stream is something that is quite attractive for companies in the tech sector, in, of course, AI. It's called the Global Skills Strategy. AI keeps growing in Canada and is supported by unparalleled visa program for skilled workers, such as the Global Skills Strategy, that can bring talent into Canada within 2 weeks. It's important to note here that many of the CCCA members are referral partners for this program, and they will be able to help and assist you if you have chosen their region to attract the talent that is not available for you domestically here. And of course, we can't be talking about investment attraction and FDI and trade without speaking about some of the rankings and where Canada stands. So this slide over here shows you where Canada stands internationally. Of course, we are #1 in the G20 for overall prosperity. We are #2 in the G20 for doing business. And one of the best, reputation that Canada has is on the safety and stability of our financial system. And we have the second soundest banking system in the world continuously for the 9th consecutive year. And finally, one that the country, and we are very proud to, is we have the most educated country and workforce in the world. And that's, of course, quite important for companies that are looking for particular types of talent, whether that is in STEM, whether that is in machine and deep learning. You will be able to find that here because of our many intense and amazing universities across the country. Speaking about universities and research, you cannot do business without having some sort of incentive for research and development. I like to highlight here one of our key turn tax credits in Canada. It is called SHRED. It's the Scientific Research and Experimental Development Tax Credit. This is one of the best tax credits in the world when it comes to research and development. It is embedded in our tax code. This is something that I like to highlight, that unlike some other countries where tax incentives and research and development incentives can be up for litigation. This is embedded in our legislation, and it will always be here no matter which party is in power here in Canada. Of course, we also have our 5 major banks located in the financial capital of the country in Toronto. And we have Export Development Canada, Business Development Canada, that are all here to support you on your financing needs. Now, in the next few slides, I will quickly speak about those CCCA members and their specific regions and where the concentration of innovation really exists in Canada. I won't go into detail, and I hope you have a chance to connect with each of our members directly. But here we have Vancouver, which has the hub of creative industries and green technologies. They are moving at a fast pace. One of the world's largest clean tech clusters is located in Vancouver. In the province of Alberta, we have Edmonton Global. This is where AME exists. It is the research hub at the University of Alberta on AI, continues to be top 3 in the world. Calgary, moving away from their traditional strengths in energy, continues to be a strength. However, they're moving more towards transformative technologies. In Halifax, in the East Coast, in the Atlantic, the Oceans Technology and ICT Cluster, and that is where the Ocean Supercluster exists, and I will speak a little bit more about the superclusters in the next slides. In Winnipeg, we have aerospace and agribusiness. In London, Ontario, manufacturing, food and beverage, and digital creative. In Waterloo, of course, Waterloo is world-renowned for the University of Waterloo, and the home of RIM and BlackBerry is where their strengths are around robotics, automation, and ICT. In Hamilton, Ontario, the headquarters of the Advanced Manufacturing Supercluster, the strengths are advanced manufacturing and life sciences. In Toronto, in the Toronto region, this is the financial capital of the country. Of course, the second largest financial center in North America is in Toronto, and ICT and technologies is also a major strength for the city. And in the country's capital, Ottawa, world leader in software, ICT, and telecommunication. And finally, the province of Quebec, where Montreal International represents the region of Montreal. It is the headquarters of the artificial intelligence supercluster, along with strengths in the creative industries as well. And finally, Quebec City, where they have excellent strengths in life sciences, ICT, and creative industries. So you had heard me mention superclusters in the last few slides. A few years ago, the federal government decided to put strategic initiatives to foster the growth of specific sectors in the country. And these 5 sectors, after a long collaboration and consultation with industry and with provincial partners, we're able to land these 5 superclusters across Canada that bring new incentives to build large-scale industry and partnership that accelerate innovation. So from West Coast to East Coast, we have digital technology supercluster, the protein industry supercluster, advanced manufacturing, scale, AI, and ocean supercluster. The next few slides, I will start to speak a little bit more about the emerging sector of artificial intelligence. Canada was one of the first countries in the world to create a national AI strategy. We are one of the top machine learners and ecosystem in the world. The foundation of AI research in Canada is very, very strong. AI pioneers such as Geoffrey Hinton at the University of Toronto and Richard Sutton at the University of Alberta have played a pivotal role in developing the technology and have become magnets for attracting the more top talent for research and for business across Canada. I'll give you a couple of examples. Montreal has the world's highest concentration of research and students of deep learning. Toronto has the world's highest concentration of AI startups, and Canada has become a powerhouse of AI innovation, producing the most AI patents per capita amongst the G7 nations between 2015 and 2018, more than China too. And of course, the superclusters are not siloed in their specific sector. They work in collaboration with one another. And this map over here really highlights the 3 that have an AI focus. The AI powered supply chain supercluster, of course, alone is expected to create more than 16,000 jobs and add more than 16.5 billion to Canada's economy over the next 10 years. And again, you can see most of our members here of the CCCA highlighted on this map. Now, we can't be speaking about AI without talking about the research that is happening around AI. Canada's big 3 research institutes that are continuously ranked in the top 5 and top 10 around the world are the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute at the University of Alberta, that is ranked in the top 3. Niloo, the Montreal Institute of Learning Algorithm, is a partnership between University of Montreal and McGill University. And of course, the Vector Institute, located in Toronto, brings together universities, government, and industry in collaboration around AI and deep learning. Again, this is the world speaking on behalf of us. These are some of the top rankings where Canada stands in the sector of artificial intelligence. Like I mentioned, we are the first country in the world to develop an AI strategy. Toronto has the highest concentration of AI startups, and Canada is ranked 4th in the world on Global AI Index. And one final note about that, in 2019 alone, a record-breaking 57 deals saw $658 million in venture capital invested in Canadian AI companies, an increase of almost 50% from 2018. So that is quite impressive jump only in 1 year. And finally, I'll give you a quick highlight on artificial intelligence by region, representative of the CCCA members. Now, not every single CCCA member is highlighted here. However, I am happy to connect you with them when you are ready to have those conversations. So as you can see here, we have the region of Waterloo. Waterloo is a leader in applied AI. Is at the center of Canada's emergence as a global leader in applied artificial intelligence, and is recognized for its deep roots in math and computer science. The Toronto region is the economic engine of the country. It's one of the largest and fastest growing metropolitan regions in North America. An example of AI investment in the region is Uber's testing its automated cars in Toronto, launching a new research hub in Toronto focused on developing AI for automated vehicles. I'll move along to the next slide due to time constraint. And of course, we cannot forget our powerhouse in the west in the province of Alberta with Edmonton and Calgary, again, with Amy there at the University of Alberta. And of course, in Dalhousie, one of Canada's most intense research institutes, one of 5 Tier 1 Canadian research chairs in AI is at Dalhousie University. And of course, in Hamilton is a concentration of health and academic research in AI and a strong academic and industry collaboration. And finally, I've been speaking a lot about why Canada, but I think this slide really speaks for itself. Is these multinational, international companies deciding to call Canada home, particularly as it relates to their investments and their move towards greater artificial intelligence in their business lines. For example, in Facebook, expanded its Montreal lab in September 2018, doubling its AI researchers in its 60% facility. Over in the West Coast, MasterCard announced a $510 million cybersecurity R&D center in Vancouver in January of this year, creating over 270 jobs. So thank you for your time. If I can leave you with a few key takeaways of why you should consider Canada for your next investment destination. Access to high quality, low cost talent pool. Salaries for software engineers are up to 40% less than in other North American tech hubs. Generous R&D incentives, reducing cost of wages, contracts, and materials by 15 to 46%. Private health insurance costs, paid time off, and other benefits that are approximately 51% lower than in the US, thanks to our universal public healthcare coverage. And finally, publicly funded maternity and paternity leave. And these social policies are more important and imperative than ever in the world that we live in today. So these are some of the reasons why companies, investors, and people consider Canada for their next investment destination. And we hope that you do as well. Thank you.